She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Your family isn't invited to our wedding." Her voice was cold, final, and the discussion. I stared at her, letting the words settle, sharp and unnatural in the space we'd once filled with love and plans. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just nodded. "Fine," I said. Then I walked to the bedroom, pulled out my suitcase, and started packing. Calm, deliberate, with the kind of clarity that only comes after a line has been crossed so deep it leaves no room for negotiation. What happened next is a blur that burned itself into my memory so deeply I'll never forget it. I'm Liam, 32. She was Chloe, 30. We were together 5 years, engaged for 1, and for the most part, things had gone smoothly, at least on the surface. The wedding was planned, the venue booked. We'd been through the cake tastings, the seating charts, the endless lists and deposits. All of it was humming along, until that one conversation shattered everything. It was a Saturday afternoon. We were sitting at the dining table, sipping lukewarm coffee and going over the guest list again for the 10th time. The Redwood Grove was locked in, a stunning venue tucked under towering trees, paid for almost entirely out of my own pocket. I dropped a deposit, covered most of the costs. It was supposed to be a celebration of unity, of love. Instead, she weaponized it. Chloe suddenly stiffened. Her tone shifted into something sharp and clinical. "I've been thinking about your family," she began. "I've decided they can't come to the wedding." I blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "All of them," she said, her eyes steady. "Your parents, your sister, yes, even Sarah, your cousins. They're just not our kind of people." "Our kind?" I asked, my mouth dry. "They're loud, Liam. A bit unrefined. This wedding is supposed to be sophisticated, elegant. I want something tasteful." "Not," she trailed off, wrinkling her nose. "Not them." I sat back in my chair, stunned. These were the people who embraced her from the start, who gave us a down payment on our first apartment, who invited her to family holidays, included her in everything. Sarah, who Chloe herself had asked to be a bridesmaid, had spent hours helping her pick out shoes and centerpieces. My heart dropped as Chloe added, "My mother agrees. This is better. It's for the best." End of discussion. I felt the blood freeze in my veins. She expected me to throw away the people who raised me, supported us, loved us both, because they didn't match her curated image of perfection. She wanted a glossy, magazine-worthy wedding, not a messy, joyful celebration of two lives coming together. And worse, she thought that was her right. I stood up. My voice was level. "There is no wedding without my family." She crossed her arms. "You're being dramatic." "No, I'm being clear." I left the room, packed what I needed, not because I was being impulsive, but because I realized something vital. Any woman who thinks she can erase your roots doesn't deserve to build a future with you. Chloe followed me around in disbelief. "You can't be serious," she said, her voice rising. "You're ending this over that?" "No," I replied. "You ended this when you tried to erase the people who matter most to me." She cried. Real tears, I think, or maybe frustration. I didn't care anymore. The switch had flipped. I walked out and went straight to my sister's. Sarah didn't ask questions, just hugged me and made up the guest bed. Later that night, Chloe's best friend, Zoe, called. "Liam," she said, "Chloe's a mess." She didn't mean it like that. Didn't mean what? I asked. That my family wasn't good enough? That she'd rather marry me alone than with them present? She meant every word, Zoe. She was crystal clear. But she loves you. If this is her version of love, I want no part in it. By Monday, I'd made some decisions. First stop, the Redwood Grove. The contract was in my name. I called the coordinator and canceled the wedding. Yes, I lost a deposit, thousands of dollars, but money was the least of what I was reclaiming. Then I asked a question that felt like opening a window in a suffocating room. Is the venue available that same weekend for a family reunion? It was. I paid the remainder and booked it for exactly that. A celebration, not a marriage, but of something far more permanent, my family. I sent out a mass email to the vendors. Chloe and her parents had paid the deposit on the caterer, not me. I informed them, formally and politely, that the wedding was canceled, and they were responsible for any further arrangements or cancellations. Attached was a screenshot of Chloe's exact text. "Your family is not invited. End of discussion." No response. I boxed her belongings. Gave her a week to retrieve them from my porch. No entry, no conversation. Just closure. Days passed. Silence from her end. Then, like clockwork, the first RSVP photos from the family reunion started popping up, people tagging me, sharing smiling faces beneath towering redwoods. Laughter, barbecues, dancing under strings of lights. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree. And there it was, Chloe, text after text. "Liam, what is this? A family reunion at the Redwood Grove? That's our wedding venue." "No, Chloe." I replied. "It was... the wedding's canceled. You made that clear." I simply repurposed what I paid for. Her rage poured through voicemails, screaming, sobbing, demanding. "You're trying to humiliate me. You're making a mockery of this." Then softly, "I miss you. I made a mistake. Let's talk. We can still fix this. Please." I didn't answer. Then Zoe tried again. "Liam, this is cruel. Chloe's not eating. She's devastated." She wanted to devastate my family. I said. She succeeded. Now she gets to live with that. Blocked her. Chloe's mom, Diana, called next. Sickly sweet. Try and play diplomat. "Liam, dear, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "No," I said. "There was clarity. You both agreed my family didn't belong. So I made sure they did, without you." More text from Chloe. "You owe me for the caterer deposit. What about my dress?" "You're a vindictive bastard." The audacity was staggering. One final reply. "You disrespected my family. You ended the relationship. Your financial obligations are not mine. Consider this the end of all discussions." Then I blocked her for good. The reunion? It was perfect. Kids running around with sticky fingers. My uncle playing his guitar near the fire pit. Laughter echoing through the grove where there was supposed to be stiff formalities and overpriced floral arrangements. We had burgers instead of filet mignon. A bouncy castle instead of a champagne tower. And joy. Real, unfiltered, messy joy. My mom cried. My dad gave a toast. My sister hugged me like she hadn't in years. I saw my family not just smiling, but seen and valued. Chloe had wanted to exclude them for aesthetics. She got excluded for good. A week later came her final act. A letter written on faux fancy letterhead, signed by her and Diana, demanding mediation, demanding compensation for the dress, for deposits, for emotional distress, and humiliation for my family reunion. I laughed. So did Sarah, who works as a paralegal. "They should have hired an actual lawyer," she said. Then came the smear campaign. Suddenly I was being painted as emotionally unstable, cold-footed, manipulative, controlling. Her version spread like cheap perfume. Strong at first, but fading under the weight of truth. People who asked got the receipts. Her exact words. My calm replies. And the photos, so many photos, of a celebration rooted in love. When she tried to damage my reputation at the community center where I teach coding to kids, I braced for the worst. But the director just smiled and said, "I know who you are, Liam. This smells like bitterness." She was right. The last time I heard of Chloe, she was trying to salvage what was left of her image. But people talk. The truth leaks. Even Zoe, I heard, was distancing herself now. It's hard to defend someone who builds their castle on lies and throws stones at everyone trying to love them. As for me, I'm peaceful, lighter. My relationship with my family has never been stronger. I look back and realize what I almost married into, a lifetime of conditions and control. Chloe wanted a perfect wedding without my family. She got no wedding and a family party in the very place she tried to erase them from. She said end of discussion. And now, there's nothing left to say.